This video is for those who are making the Cactus in Bloom needle book, and I'm assuming that you're working from our kit or that you have downloaded the pattern and you have the exact materials that are listed in the kit. Of course, anyone is welcome to watch this, but I have made this for some pre-work for a workshop we've got coming up. So we're going to be working with things on page 2 and then on to the top of page 3. And I recommend the first thing you do is take out just what you're going to need for the pre-work from your kit, which is going to be one of the pre-cut pages and the little piece of green that you're going to do for the cactus applique, because all we're doing is some marking and we're going to stitch on the cactus applique before coming to class. So I'm going to go over how to cut that and how to place it. You're also going to need just the green DMC floss from the kit, which is this 580 color. So before you lose everything else, I would just leave all of these other things. Oopsie, it's wanting to slide out of the bag already. Just leave all these in the little bag. You're going to need just the size 7 embroidery needle right now. So stow everything else you don't need in the bag. And try not to lose any pattern pieces and pages. That's always a challenge before coming to class. So the first thing you'll do is you'll take this part of the pattern and you can see that you're going to have a cactus shape which has lines in it. You're going to have a flower shape that you're using just to make a template of that. And there's this ground line template. So I want you to take the sheets of freezer paper, there should be 2 small sheets of freezer paper, and trace each of those 3 things. So the ground template, the flower shape, and the cactus. And be sure to draw the lines on the cactus. And you're going to draw these all onto the matte side of the freezer paper. You can feel and see that one side is a little shinier. So this you can cut out. Don't cut on these lines yet, just cut around the outside of it. Cut this ground template, it'll look like this. Cut that right on the lines. If you want to, you can wait on cutting around this flower shape for later, for when you come to class, and you can just tuck that into your little bag of thread so that you don't lose that before you come to class. If you lose it, you just have to trace it again, which is a little bit irritating. So then you'll mark a line down the center of the needle book, just right down the center line. And that's going to help you to place this ground template. All we're doing with this template is just marking for the placement of the cactus shape. So take a marker such as a friction pen and you can place this over here and just trace this outline. You can iron this on if you want to, but keep in mind that when you touch this friction pen with an iron, it's going to erase this line that you've already drawn. So if you're going to iron this on, iron this and draw it first, and then draw this other line. Okay, and then when you're finished with that, you can take this off. You can set it aside in your bag in case you ever decide you want to make another one or something. Next, you're going to take the cactus shape that you made. You can pin it in place or hold it, or you can just tap it with a dry iron to stick it onto the felt, and then you can cut around that. Or if you prefer to hold it, you can trace it and cut it. But I just ironed it on and cut around it. Then peel that piece off. You're going to need these lines later, so tuck this piece away to keep with you for when you come to class. I know this seems like a lot of prep work, but it's really just to get your cactus in the right place. Now, some people would just eyeball this, my sister being one of them, and it would be in the perfect place. But I like to know where it's going to be and know that my cactus is going to be just where I want it to be. You are going to have room later to make the bloom for the cactus and bloom, so you're going to use that to place the shape. So that's just a preview where we're headed. The next thing you're going to do, you can see after I've cut this out, see I don't have any of the lines marked in it, and I've pinned it in place. So that's the whole reason we drew the ground line was just so that I can tuck that cactus on. And we're not doing brain surgery here. I mean, get it reasonably accurate. Now you're going to stitch this down with 2 strands of DMC floss. If you pull 2 strands of floss out from the little card of floss that we have and cut a length off, you'll see that they're still kind of twisty together. So whenever you're working with either doing applique or embroider with 2 strands of floss, make sure that you get these completely unwound from each other. Just gently unwind them and then lay them back together so that they will lie smoothly together. So I've already done that here, and you can see I have this pinned in place with just a couple of pins. And now for the applique stitch. I'm going to start fairly close to the bottom edge here, but I don't like to start right on a corner. I want to start someplace where it's not going to be really visible where I began and ended. And the reason I'm starting near this bottom is that I don't want to get, my stuff kind of stretched out and realize that I've got my cactus tilted off the axis or that it slipped way down here. This way I can see I have it in place with the line. Now I'm coming up from the back. Of course, I've knotted my thread and I'm using the size 7 embroidery needle. So here is the whip stitch for applique. We actually have a separate video on this, but why not review it right here? Now I'm going to bring the tip of my needle down, not over here. I'm going to bring it with this particular whip stitch right across from where my thread came up. And then my needle is going to go in at a slant. You can't really see the direction of the needle, but you can see where the needle is going to come out. So I'm coming out. I want to make a fairly small stitch, and I'm also want to come out not so close to the edge that, I don't want to tear up my felt. The felt is pretty resilient, so it's not going to fray. But see how that makes a really nice little invisible stitch. I mean, I've got this magnified so you can see it, but it's not going to make an obnoxious stitch. So I just keep going like this, going down straight across. Now, sometimes when I explain to people straight across, they think I mean put the needle straight in like this. I don't mean put the needle straight in. I mean put the needle in so that the thread is being pulled straight when you pull it through. So I just keep going like this all the way around. And there's going to be embroidery around this. This stitching isn't really going to show a whole lot, but try to make, maybe an 1/8 inch stitches and get them nice and consistent. So when you come to class, all you need to do is have these things marked and have this cactus stitched on all the way around, and you will be ready to go.